Hey everyone, how's it going? Just wanted to create a video a little bit here about some work that I'm going to do on my 2021 GMC AT4. As you saw in the thumbnail here, this is what it looks like coming around out here. All right, so what we're doing today is we are putting on a couple of these running boards. Got the GoRhino D6 Running Boards, everything you need right there. And we're gonna kind of walk through some helpful tips that I found and just figuring out different ways that we can provide some functionality and a good look to our AT4. Okay, so stay long, we're gonna rock and roll. All right, so just like I showed you here, this is what the Rhino D6 running board looks like. Coming on over here, and then if you come over to this passenger side here, you can already see the running board on there. It's pretty flush up against that bottom trim. There's just a little lip here, and if I come a little closer, it does have some pretty good little lip to it on that texture, and it looks pretty sturdy. So over here. So yes, I already walked through and did that one, but gonna give you a little outline of what we're looking at here. So these are going to be the mounting brackets. If I look here, they are facing towards the right side, and the passenger side ones face towards the left. Coming on over here, I have three mounting hardware brackets, I guess you could call them, that these are going to mount to the actual frame brackets, and then these go inside of the running board. Okay, a little bit of an interesting system. It's similar to what I would say might be a cleat system. And then if I come over here, just different sockets. They are a 13 mil socket for these initial bolts, the bolts that hold these brackets together. And then I found that it was more of a 14 mil socket for the black ones that then mount the actual running board to these brackets, to the frame brackets here. So a couple different things going on there. All right, so I'm not the biggest person to always follow directions. I think intuitively, I'm somebody that can figure things out pretty easily. However, with something being on my truck and having a newer truck, I have been trying to look at directions of things and kind of see what other people do as well. I didn't really see anything for these Rhino D6 side steps, so thought I would make something myself. And if I'm looking here at the directions, and kind of see how they list these plastic plugs that are down on the side, and these fill in on some already threaded holes. So I got to go in and undo these, and what they look like when you get them off, they're really a pain in the butt to get off, but they look like these flat top screws, and you can kind of get them off, but you see really some teeth on there. So I want to be able to go in and pull these apart without dinging them up or scratching them, because I feel like if I break them, then they'll pull off and it'll just be so much more of a hassle. So they're a little bit tedious, but I go in and turn it all up. All right, so underneath on the driver's side over here, if I come up under, you can begin to see some of these plastic plugs that I was talking about. If you see here, there's a top plug and a bottom plug. Okay, so these sit pretty flush to the little frame piece here. So what I did before is went through and took a little knife to them and kind of got up under there to pry them and then pull them off, and then you unscrew them. So according to the directions, I'm going to go through the first hole, or the first set of holes, the third set of holes, and the fifth set of holes. Right, so just making sure those line up, because there are a number of extra ones, so make sure you pull on the first, third, and fifth. Easy to go on the odd numbers. All right, so got one of the brackets mounted up here. This is what it looks like. That 13 mil bolt is up top, and then that second 13 mil bolt is down bottom. And then this is gonna act as a mounting plate that holds those 14 mil bolts, the black ones, into the running board. And then if I come over here, I have the second one mounted up in the third holes that we pulled out. And again, just those rubber stops are what we're pulling out here and just opening up those holes. So when you see these rubbers, go ahead and try to get like a flathead screwdriver under them, unscrew them, and then we're prepping. So third one is right there, getting ready to roll. Once you are tightening these onto the frame, I would try to leave them just a little bit loose so that you can kind of finagle them side to side when you're mounting on the boards themselves. All right, so now these mounting brackets are gonna go inside of the board. You see on the back side there is that cubby, and what we're gonna do is flip these around, flush side out. That's gonna come into the mounting bracket, and then these actually slide in like that, and then we're gonna slide that down approximately to where the third bracket is. And then you saw that there's 2 mounting bracket holes on there, so that's actually gonna utilize 2 out of 3 of those holes. And then here is the second one. The second one last time was just a little bit forward, so that's that one is actually going to become the first one. And then here we go, here is the third, slide it in there, scooching it over. Okay, now these do fall flat, so it's going to take a little bit of finagling to get them to work. Last time I used my shoes, propped them up on my feet and kind of supported it. I'll see if I can get a picture there for you here shortly. All right, so I'll flush down here on the ground, and what I'm gonna do is use my knees to get a good lift and then prop this up on, or at least close to the brackets, while I hand tighten some screws in there just to give it a little bit of support. And then as I get those all hand tightened, they hold pretty well. I'm gonna come back in and then I'll use the ratchet and get those back down tight. Here's something interesting. On my middle bracket, I was actually tightening them down after mounting the side steps to this, and then I had these little tack welds break off, so never had that happen, but luckily I can utilize the other 2. All right, so I got all of these bolts hand tightened down here on the railing, and what I'm going to do now is just manually align it a little bit. So if I'm looking right here, I got it pretty close to where I want it so that it utilizes most of the driver's side door and the passenger side the way that is designed. Thinking ahead, you know, I got the crew cab right here, so if I'm coming here, it's loose enough with these brackets that I can slide it to where I need to. So I'm just gonna make sure that it lines up evenly, kind of with that door trim crack. So I'm gonna pull it over to the right side just a little bit more so it makes sense. And that's it. Okay, so a couple of hand tools, and these steps are on. They look good. They'll hold 200-pound man like me. And the reason why I'm doing that is, you know, they look pretty good, but above all else, helps the wife get back into the car. So that's a big thing. And just the functionality is super high. The look is really good. Only knock I have is just that nut broke off super easily. So just be careful not to over torque your nuts and bolts as you get them on there. But the look is great, and we'll maybe possibly do an update here in the future of how they're working out. But